Dear students, let us start the discussion on today's newspaper, that is 10th November 2016. Today the news is majorly dominated by two events. One is presidential elections in the United States of America and the demonetization of the currency. Now let's first start the discussion on USA elections. I want to bring in three or four highlights of the US elections and what are the implications of Trump's presidency to India. The first one is the difference between electoral votes and the popular votes, the phenomenon of checks and balances, and how is it going to function now, and then voting behavior of the Americans, why the vote participation is so low in America, and then immigration and what is the impact of the new immigration policies that are going to come down, and what are the proposed economic and foreign policies of Mr. Trump to the world? How is it going to affect the Asia Pacific region? And how this is going to impact India? So these are the issues which we need to discuss today. The first one is America has a unique election system where every state it will elect its electoral college, and this all the votes of the electoral college goes to the victor from that particular state. So there can be a situation in the US where the popular votes may come to one candidate, but another candidate can become the president because he has won more electoral college votes. This is what exactly has happened in the present election. Miss Hillary Clinton got the more electoral college, popular votes, but Mr. Trump has won the electoral college votes because most of the states he has won the elections, and each state will not have equal number of electoral college votes, remember this. So based on the size of the population, a state will get a particular number of electoral college votes. So there are certain things called as swing states. For example, you talk about Pennsylvania, it's a swing state. Florida, a swing state. Michigan, a swing state. All these swing states, Trump has got a resounding victory, and all the electoral college from this particular area, it goes to Mr. Trump. Now the second thing is, Americans, they participated lowest in this particular election. Now that's why when the voting percentage decreases in an election, when the candidate is not acceptable to most of the citizens, around 48% is the votes polled in this particular election in the United States. So I can describe this election as I have two wrong choices to make. So what is the best choice which I make from the worst choices available to me? Or this is more a vote of discontent. It means that I hate Hillary, so I hate for Trump. I vote for Trump. I hate Trump, so I vote for Hillary. So it's more of a vote of discontent. And the third thing is, America is known for anti-incumbency factor. After every two terms, a particular party won the elections, it is invariably turned to the other party. So you see this, Mr. Obama, he has completed the two terms from the Democratic Party. Now it is the turn of the Republicans. That's what gets rotated every time. So the voting behavior clearly shows that there is an antipathy towards the establishment in the US. Understand this statement. A democracy can function well whenever there is connect between the people, system, and political establishment. When this connect gets destabilized, then automatically it means that the democracy is coming under trouble in that country. Now, if you see, media and civil society, all these are the institutions to bridge this gap between the establishment and the citizens. Surprisingly, these elections prove that. So, the media and the civil society, which are supposed to bridge the gap, they indeed have the gap with the common people. Now, few people are comparing this situation with Brexit because the people are very much worried after 2008 economic crisis about the global situation and the immigration especially. So in the West, the middle class, they started feeling that their difficulties are more due to the immigration or liberal immigration which is facilitated by the globalization. And also, the economy got worsened because of this particular globalization and free trade norms. Now, yesterday we read one article. What it has clearly stated is this: the economy or polity or sense of deprivation among the people, it is more perception oriented rather than what the reality is. If you see the globalization, the actual wealth has increased among the people, but however, this globalization has developed a perceived deprivation among the middle class and the lower income groups. And this perceived deprivation, it has created antipathy towards the establishment. And the second thing, the income inequalities have increased after the globalization. Now, if you see, before 1990s, so 90% of the Americans possessed the 70% of their wealth. Today, 90% of the Americans possess only 10% of the wealth. It means more wealth is getting shifted from lower income groups to the higher income groups. The new wealth is created is not for the poor people, but it is for the rich people. So, amidst of these insecurities, Mr. Trump played to the working class. So, he was able to project Ms. Hillary Clinton as a representative of the Wall Street and corporate sector, and he himself as the representative of the poor working class. And few of the news articles also wrote about Americans' inability to accept a woman and an African American as a president. Because the white, especially the European descendants, so most of them were unable to accept an African American as a president in Obama's tenure. So the perceived loss of privilege, where the institutions have got greater access to the whites. So this has lost when Obama has become the president. So symbolically there is a constitutional equality. Understand, though there is constitutional equality, institutions functions how the politics mend them. So here, as African American became the president, African Americans have got a new thrust with regard to their access to the political institutions. So which is not welcomed by few sections of the Americans. And this also paid for the results. But surprisingly, the people who voted for the Trump also includes the African Americans, Latinos, who he himself described them as in the most derogatory terms. One thing is very clear now through these elections. America was divided, and it is divided for bad, and this division has to be or else this division need to be filled. And very much the address of Mr. Trump to the country or to the nation is directed towards this. He said he will be the president for the all sections of the people rather than to the people only who supported him. And another thing is, the greatest strength of the Trump is not from establishment. He projected himself as an outsider. So let's recapitulate this. The first thing is, there is an anti-establishment feeling among the voters. Globalization raised the inequalities. And the third thing is, the voting percentage decreased, and it is seen more as a vote of discontent and rather than a vote of favor. So let's get into the next thing. What are the economic policies of Mr. Trump? Now, Mr. Trump has opposed to globalization and free trade talks. It means the Trans-Pacific Partnership is going to see a shelf. It means the Trans-Pacific Partnership will not be pursued with the same vigor. And the second thing is, with regard to the economic policies, immigration restrictions to develop employment for the natives might increase. So it means H-1B visas and L-1 visas may get much tougher. Because of this, the situation of IT industry in India may get worsened. And the third thing is a trickle-down approach. What is this trickle-down approach means? He wanted to decrease the taxes for the corporate sector so that the potential for investments will grow, and these investments and entrepreneurship will make the America great again, and it will lead to the better business environment in the United States of America. So it means though he has pitched towards the blue collared workers, his very economic policy is bound to go against their interests. So it is by and large is going to support the American corporate sector. So these are the things which are going to happen with regard to the economic front. Now coming to the foreign policy. Now, there is with regard to India Pakistan. Now, Mr. Trump sees India as a friend and a bright spot in the world economy. On the other hand, Pakistan is seen as a semi unstable state with nuclear weapons. And also, he has pitched for Islamophobia in his election rallies. So, in these circumstances, so he may, in India-Pakistan rhetoric, he may act tough against the Pakistan and Pak-sponsored terrorism. But however, this hyphenation already has started in the words of Mr. Trump between India and Pakistan. India don't want to get hyphenated with the Pakistan, which is very much worrisome. And the second thing is the tilt of China. Now let us see this way. Obama has initiated the Asia pivot and it was not actually taken forward with much vigor. Now, South China Sea is the major problem in our Indian Ocean. So now what will be the orientation of the new president for the same? Mr. Trump has clearly said America is not expected to be the police of the world and he will revisit the relations of America with all the countries. It means that the foreign policy security dialogue of US from 1945 is going to be revisited. Now remember, understand carefully this word. Government may change, but administration essentially is a continuity. So, to what extent Trump has the political will to change the administration altogether is the major question. Because there is a White House or there is an establishment in the United States of America that works against this particular situation. And he has to take the aid of the foreign policy experts. And none of the foreign policy experts are in support of getting away with the agreements with the close allies of United States of America. Military alliances of United States of America are a strong pillar for its foreign policy and none of the foreign policy experts wants to abandon them. So coming to Iran nuclear deal, Mr. Trump expressed anguish on the Iran nuclear deal and we have to see how it will go forward. And with regard to Islamic State, now the cooperation between Russia and America is expected to increase. And it means a strong front on war in Syria against Islamic State can be expected. So these are the major things which we can see with regard to the Trump's presidency on the foreign front. Now, next is Indian diaspora. India and the diaspora. So here, Indian diaspora, it was shown more inclination towards the Trump in these particular elections. And it may sound positively with the Trump and his presidency. And that Prime Minister Narendra Modi is expected to reach out to the President-elect Mr. Trump as soon as possible. And method in the shock therapy. What is this talks about? Now, demonetization of the 500 and 1000 rupees notes. It has an impact on the black money. And the second thing is, it's going to eliminate the fake currency. And the third thing, it is going to shift the investments from the fixed assets to the financial instruments. As of now, a person who has the money is interested in investing in the land because the price of appreciation of the land is much higher than the financial investments. Because the money, especially the black money, is going to play a huge role with regard to the fixed asset price escalation. So here, the financial instruments, if they are being invested, the financial intermediation in the country is expected to become stronger. And then, the tax revenues of the government will go up. It will lead to the better expenditure on the welfare of the people. And that can become a strong fight against poverty. and various programs such as Digital India are expected to get a boost up with the finances available from the government. So these are all the positives. But let us see what are the weaknesses into this. Now, in the place of the 500 and 1000, 2000 rupees are not been brought in. So when 2000s are been brought in, it is providing a recirculation of the high denomination notes again. And it is going to bring back the black economy again over a period of time. That is what is the apprehension. So it is expected that government will roll out these 2000 rupees notes only in small amounts. But however, any high denomination note is going to create a source of the black money in the future. And the second thing is, there is an important loophole or plug hole, that is agricultural income, where a farmer and his income from the land is never been taxed. So, a black money can be sourced back into the accounts through this particular agricultural income route. And the third thing is the hardships to the people. So probably this could have been better planned so that these hardships can be eliminated. But however, the most important aspect of this particular initiative was the surprise element. India has demonetized its currency in 1946 and also in 1978. In 1978, during Janata government, it has demonetized 1000, 5000 rupees notes and the 10,000 rupees notes. There, sufficient time was given and the surprise element was lacking. But today, the surprise element that has made this event much different from the 1946 and 1978 demonetization. So, in this context, the terror finance is also going to get hard hit, and the reality prices are going to come down. So, these are the things which are being expected out of demonetization. Now let us see, imagining the Trump's America, it's again the continuation of the United States and the arguments in the United States. Now see, US functions on the basis of checks and balances. It means that executive has to balance the judiciary and then legislature has to balance executive and judiciary. So this check of power and balance of the power is the central theme of the functioning of the American democracy. So in this context, if you take the US Supreme Court, that is the judicial system, among the judges, 9 judges, 4 plus 4, a tiebreaker judge is there. It means that whenever 4 judges are one side and the 4 judges on the other side, then a person can be a tiebreaker. So in these circumstances, a judicial position is vacant in the Supreme Court. In the Supreme Court of United States, president of the country will nominate the judge with the approval of the Senate. Now, in the Senate and also in House of entire Congress, it has been dominated by Republicans. So it means as the Republicans are dominating the Senate and the Congress, and then as they are in the presidential office, and they are also going to fill the judicial positions with their own nominees. Obviously, how these checks and balances are going to function in the future is the major question with regard to the US functioning of its democracy. And straws in the wind. So let us talk about this, about the burning of the crop residue in the states of Haryana and Punjab. Now if you take crop yield versus crop residue, so it will be around 1:1.5%. And today, Haryana and Punjab are most mechanized states with regard to the agriculture is concerned. The mechanization was on the fast pace with regard to these states. So whenever mechanization happens, understand, the agricultural straw, that is rice straw, is not removed incomplete. It will be cut parallel to the surface. The roots and everything cannot be removed. So that's why this has been burned down by the farmers. And the third one is the crop cycles. Because rice and wheat, after the rice cultivation, wheat has to be cultivated. The time gap is very less. So that's why farmers resort to burning down the crop residue. And then the wheat is a better manure or as a fodder. Wheat is a better fodder compared to the rice straw. So that's why the farmers are interested to save the wheat straw rather than the rice straw. So it means wheat straw is not burnt, but however the rice straw is burnt. So in these circumstances, what is the way out? So we need to provide for the biomass to the energy conversion plants in these states. And the second thing is new crop varieties has to be brought in which produce the less crop residue. And the third thing is alternative methods have to be used, especially with regard to the dispose of this particular crop residue, where it is composting, recycling, etc. These can be worked out. The cardboard industry uses the rice straw, so obviously developing the or incentivizing these particular industries can also have a way forward. Let's get into the next thing. Again, everything is about the American elections. So here, one thing which is most interesting to me is the Jellico sport. Now, already the Supreme Court has declared the Jellico as illegal, and it is against to the Animal Protection Act. So, in these circumstances, the same Jellico, this judgment of the Supreme Court, so it was revised through the amendment of the Wildlife Protection Act by the center. And Tamil Nadu has challenged this thing. So understand, the Jellico is a traditional sport in Tamil Nadu, and it was declared as against to the animal rights. Then the center has amended the law so that it can facilitate the Jellico sport. But however, sufficient care has to be taken, the animals will not be injured in the process. So in these circumstances, the Supreme Court, the Tamil Nadu government has filed a review petition in the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court has questioned what is the legitimacy in conducting this sport. So can it be defended in the name of the culture? So these are the questions which are pending. Now, the Trump, again, this is what is the thing. The China policy will be key to India's interest. So the Trump, how he will react to growing and assertive China. Now, especially the South China Sea, how his action is going to be. The Trump has clearly stated that he is not willing to interfere with regard to various regional disputes. So it means that the Trump is going to not to spend his diplomatic efforts on South China Sea. So, and Asia pivot is also going to get burial. Even these circumstances, his policy towards China is going to reflect the India-US relations. But however, India-US relations are relatively stable, and there is a bipartisan support from both Republicans and Democrats for India-US relationships. Now, the last news, the final, this thing is also about demonetization. So the demonetization is going to hit the terror financing hard and fraudulent currency hard. So these are the articles for today. Thank you very much.